Greetings, fellow Wendigos. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Biotech, The First Wendigo, Episode 13, Bunkmates. We had, last stream, managed to finally get an embryo that was acceptable for our breeding programs. So we have Mac here, with strong immunity and pollution immune, with reduced pain as well. And we are growing Mac until she's at least 16, but maybe 18. I'm going to have you all decide later on. We'd also gotten a second viable embryo, and it is currently in the vat, meaning that when it is born, if it is not a stillbirth or deformed in some way, I will be raffling it off to you guys. We had been working to improve what I am liberally calling this the biolab, but we haven't yet moved the old prisoners out of the last sort of prison barracks. And this is where we're picking up. We are trying to research fabrication so that I have a renewable source of components and advanced components. That way I can maintain this science project for even a longer period of time. I am going to be trying to move the prisoners over to the new prison, and then I'm going to have you all... Wow. Seer Scorpius, my goodness. Oh. You've just made me pink, friend. 30 gifted community subs. Holy cow. Thank you so very much. What I was going to say is, yeah, we are going to go ahead and try to get the prisoners moved over, and then maybe set up the throne room, but the priorities are going to be left up to you all. No, you've tickled me pink for a bit. That sounds dirty, but it isn't. It's not a strange euphemism or anything. So one of the things I wanted to do is because I don't have a ton of rice, just to put rice stockpiles here in order to accommodate the prisoners that get moved. Because if I store it on a shelf, it stacks up to 3, and I don't have 9 stacks worth of rice that I can share. In fact, Wendy, you're probably, yes, you're starving. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to also consider going after the War Queen at some point when we feel ready. That way I will be able to make a Fabricor, which allows me to not have to cook anymore. It also gives me the ability to make a paramedic, which can tend to the prisoners. It's something that Mac might end up doing as well. We'll see. A group of waste rats wandering through. Yeah, I don't really care for rat meat, so not gonna worry about that. I believe, yeah, some of the mechs are a little low power, but they're well maintained and they're well repaired. Much like all the series that I've got going on, one recurring theme is the need for renewable plasteel. So we're going to have to cross that bridge eventually. I said that I was using a custom mod for metabolic efficiency. What is the normal to maximum? You know, I have actually a guide for you. There it is in the link. I made a tutorial video. It's about 15 minutes long, and I spend about 6 minutes in that video talking about hybrid breeding. So if you want to know more about hybrid breeding, use that YouTube video. And there's chapters in the video so that you can find exactly the subject that you want to read about. And then Brown Owl, you ask, correct me if I'm wrong, there's no way to get a gene like acid spitting as a xenogene. I think you mean germline gene without mods or custom race? Correct. Basically, if a genetic inheritable gene does not exist in any of the 7 races that are in the game, meaning baseliner, dirt mole, Neanderthal, pigskin, so on and so forth, they can't be genetically inherited. There are roughly 200 genes. I'm spitballing a number here, but there's roughly like 200 genes that biotech adds. But maybe only about 50 or 60 of them exist genetically. And then the other, let's say 140 or so, do not exist genetically. They exist in genetic engineering and implants only. So, to splash up this screen here, because I think it's warranted, if you take a look, these are the 6 species other than baseliner. Baseliners, of course, just have skin color and hair color. And you can see that if the gene doesn't exist on this chart, underneath dirt mole, Edekin, pigskin, Neanderthal, impid, and waster, it doesn't exist in a gene pool. It doesn't exist in anyone's genomes. It's just implantable. So I hope that sorts that out. And if you do have questions about the game, feel free to use the channel point redemption. It makes it a lot easier for me to answer questions. So if you do want acid spitting to be inheritable genetically, you would definitely have to use the xenotype editor at character creation, or use dev mode and add it to someone as an endogene. There is no other way. White floof time. Orange Chaos and Guerra, thank you for the bits and the gifted sub. And Lilo Rev, thank you for the sub. So Wendy is about 3/4 done with fabrication, which is pretty good. And I'm going to be polling all of you about the first priority. As soon as I have the prisoners moved over to the biolab, I am going to call my current goal done. Meaning that I've technically freed this up to become a throne room. Because I do have the Wendy's Acolyte Ceremony, which requires me to have a throne. And, well, I don't have anywhere to put the throne, so a throne room is required. So you can vote here. Questing. If you're wondering what quests we have multiple quests referring to the glitter wand, which is the only relic of our ideology. The glitter wand is a legendary elf-tech staff, really good for psycasters. And then the Acolyte Ceremony. In terms of improving the prison and biolab, I could definitely start to move over the gene banks into the biolab, set up a gene assembler, and consider potentially assembling genes. Oh, hi, boss. Let's go ahead and scan you. Improving defenses is pretty straightforward. I don't have anything resembling automated turrets. I just have mechanoids, and there's a limit to how strong like a mech-only defense can be. So maybe you see fit that I improve that. Build a laboratory. I don't have a dedicated research room nor hospital. So again, that could be a task. Expanding the farm. We're going to be very heavily reliant upon rice to feed the vats and prisoners. And then also heel root from the farms to do egg and other surgeries, like egg extractions and other surgeries. So more farm zones is definitely a good idea at some point. It doesn't necessarily need to be now. I think we have enough nutrients for now. But as our population expands and our prison population expands, obviously that will be a necessity. And then other would be any suggestions that you all have. Like getting rid of waste packs or building storage or something like that. I definitely want to continue extracting genes as much as I can. What I really want, what I really, really, really want is a genie. I want to be able to capture myself a genie, because if I did, the advantage of that would be that I would be able to potentially gene scan Dead Calm, which would be a very powerful gene for me to implant in prisoners and slaves in my colony. Dead Calm is a gene that prevents prison breaks, and it also prevents social fights. So it essentially makes a slave or prison population subservient. But only genies have that. And alternatively, a high mate wouldn't be terrible. I could give them the pacifist gene. So that would be another way to make them passive. But I think Dead Calm would be even better. Especially for slaves, because if I want slaves to potentially fight at times, giving them the pacifist gene would be detrimental if I ever need them to defend me from stuff. Alright, 2.5 more minutes to vote on that. Black Rain, you love the Kerbal Space Program videos? Well, cool. It's actually been proposed for me to play in December and January, so I might be back to Kerbaling sometime soon. What is my power surplus? My power surplus is about 3k watts. There is another geothermal generator that I could add if needed. I haven't even touched, or actually 2 of them, 2 more geysers. I haven't even touched toxifier generators, which for royals is a particularly easy source of power, because royals eventually get the ability to call in shuttles, and shuttles can shuttle away pollutions extremely efficiently. Not to say that I have to do it, but I would say the current meta in RimWorld when you have biotech is toxifier generators are just kind of like free power. Maybe not quite as free as geothermal geysers, but pretty free. And then, do medical bots feed prisoners? If they're wounded, yes. So if you mouse over like the paramedic bot, it will actually tell you what it does. So feeding patients, administering hemogen, doctoring, operating on animals, human likes, rescuing down allies, taking patients for bed operations, tending patients, tending them for urgent needs, firefighting. So urgent needs, I think, would be feeding, but if they're wounded, if prisoners are fully healthy, feeding them is a wardening task. If they're wounded and unconscious, feeding them is a doctoring task. If we constantly allow them to become on the brink of death due to malnourishment, they will be fed through doctoring, because they're not able to walk for themselves. Basically, if prisoners can walk for them, this is an oversimplification, but if they can walk for themselves, you feed them with wardening. If they can't walk, you feed them with doctoring, which is a little weird and never really explained in RimWorld, but that's how it works. What happens if I create a germline race for hybrids? Is it still a hybrid? That is answered in my video, but the short answer is yes. There is no way to create a new race in RimWorld outside of the xenotype editor, which you get at the character creation screen. Because so 2 identical hybrids with identical genetics, they breed, the way they breed is still treated like they're hybrids. Except for the mod I have right now. There is an exception to that. So I'm running a mod that uncaps the metabolic efficiency and complexity, so it allows for dominant genes to be passed down guaranteed. Which kind of allows for a new species, sort of, because some traits that are not carried by both parents might get passed down, but is no guarantee. But basically, if you have 2 traits that both the parents have, or genetic parents or whatever, because no one's getting pregnant here, they are guaranteed to pass down with my mod pack. Alright, improving the prison and living conditions kind of tied here, so I am going to do a bit of a runoff. 2.5 minutes to vote on which one. They were only 1 vote apart. I think it's pretty fair to do a runoff here. Now, is there a reason why my mechs are not hauling the rice? I don't think so. I think Soul Lane is just so busy hauling steel. And Orange Chaos will be fully charged pretty soon. I think all of the combat mechs are, yeah, they're all just about fully charged. So they're ready to get damaged again, in other words. And Leamington, thank you for the sub. And all of you, thank you for the boost. So we just extracted Wake Up Addict Immune from Boss. Which is not bad. And Mac just had a growth moment. So Mac is... I don't have any choices here because we didn't teach Mac anything while in the pod. So I'm going to give Mac Teetotaler. It's the only choice. So she is now a teetotaling hybrid. And I suspect we're going to have a lot of hybrids that just get random, not great traits. Because I'm leaving everything to chance. Who to go in next? You are a Neanderthal. You are ready. Ovum extracted 3 days. Ovum extracted 15 hours. So if Ovum extracted 15 hours, I am going to put them in to the scanner. So now Vassallo's food, I don't really have to feed him because I have a shelf full of food, but if I was to feed him, it would be a wardening task. Fabrication is done. And it looks like improving the biolab in prison is the next project, or continuing to be the project. What research should I research now that Fab is done? Oh, you know what? I did not include Advanced Fab on this list. Which, to my mind, should be. So it's going to block my face, probably for your own benefit. And there you go. Shredder, thank you for the sub in advance, too. I don't see that all that often. Cheers, dude. Welcome to the stream. So Wendy is going to be working on this here. And I think the way to do that is to start to move over the beds, especially when the prisoners are incapacitated. I just had a thought. I really shouldn't be using steel for beds. I have stone. I don't care if it's comfortable for them. In fact, it's probably better if it's not comfortable, because they will sleep longer and be less of a pain in my butt. So I am going to make stone beds, because they're definitely more efficient. And that way I can reserve my steel for more important projects. I might even break down the original steel beds that I have, except for the excellent ones, and replace them with stone. Comfort not included. Yeah, Orange Chaos, I actually knew that about the development phases. That anything that causes stasis, but allows for growth, can be exploited. I suspect it will change, but his comment was that if you brought a children's learning to 100%, and then put them into death rest, they don't lose learning, and it guarantees that they have a perfect learning result. Alright, advanced fabrication it is. You got it, friends. That will take me a while. but Wendy's pretty smart. Alright, the Slate Biolab continues. Please include death rest in the next poll. Death rest would be colonist needs and quality of life. You can technically death rest on a regular old bed. But yeah, if you want me to have the ability to death rest, vote for like colonist needs. Yoink, thank you for the blood. These pods are kind of low on nutrition. And let's go ahead and get... I am going to want to put Vassallo in the other prison up here. Not that one. That way, prisoners are kept within their own genders, and it's not a risk of them breeding or anything like that, which is not something I want them to do. So gendered prisons, I guess, technically. Mule, you're about to die from malnourishment. Okay, fine. I guess I'll feed you. You do still have genes that I might want. Boss, why are you not on prison food? Oh, I know why. Because I have to draft you in order to fertilize eggs. That makes sense. That can happen now with prisoners? Yeah, well, they can form relationships in prison and then get pregnant. So yes, I guess my answer is it can happen. If you have a large enough prison population and you have people that are, you know, sort of straight prisoners that are of opposite genders that form relationships, yes, you can absolutely get them pregnant. Although if that happened, I would just, you know, cut the baby out. I would rather not have to do that because it's a waste of medicine and nutrition and time and effort and everything else. All right, there is a quest here. Oh, you know what? I already let it pass. It was someone named Dunker wanted help from me. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to be a bit pickier about the quests I accept. Essentially, if the quest doesn't push the goals of Wendy forward, it's a quest that I am quite willing to ignore. So quests that offer honor are more likely to be, you know, spent time on. But if they don't offer honor, well, I don't care. Unless they offer something I need, which most don't. Would they need a double bed? I am not sure. Oh, we're gonna go to a rice vat only. I did see someone suggest that that I give the vats human meat, but I think, at least the way I feel, if you want human meat, you got to be able to fight. So in the case of, all right, you calm down. You want to lose all your blood? Because this is how you lose all your blood, you idiot. So in the case of my vat-grown colonists, one of the reasons why I wouldn't consider to give them meat in their vats is they didn't earn it. I want them to earn it. It's so easy to be a prison warden when you can just drain the blood of every idiot that goes, "Well, I'm gonna break myself out." Yeah, you're not. I've heard that before. It doesn't work. I just sanguinate you, and you collapse. Getting a little tired of the, having to haul rice. Hopefully, okay, Solwayne is starting to actually haul. He was, or it was recharging. So I'm going to caravan the rice over there so I don't have to deal with this in perpetuity. Because it's annoying. What are you doing? Just haul a big stack. Yeah, there you go. You're grabbing 23 at a time? You hurt my feelings, Wendy. You're supposed to be an efficient, brilliant scientist, not a lazy hauler. I know she's just fulfilling the stack there, but ugh. Alright, so dropping a stack there. Dropping a stack there. Well, what's wrong with this spot? Where are you hauling this rice to? Oh, my own stockpiles. Sky on berserk. Because you're malnourished. Yeah, I'm definitely eager to have, No, don't hit me. See, that was dumb. Definitely eager to have extra help when it comes to dealing with these prisoners. Or to implant them so they never fight. Really? The moment I walk away, you're doing it again? Man, these guys really want to give up their blood. This is why I need Dead Calm. They are getting annoying. My helpers have not lived up to expectation. Yeah, the slaves that I've added have let me down. Alright, the nutrition of these vats look pretty good. Wendy. It might start to make sense to put Wendy on a nocturnal schedule, because she's a vampire with sunlight sensitivities. So I am going to start putting her... she also has dark vision as a vampire, so being in the dark doesn't bother her at all. Right? Dark vision, unaffected by working in the dark, but also mild UV sensitivity, so doesn't like to be in sunlight. So I think it's starting to make sense to put her on a night owl schedule for her own comfort. All of the combat bots are recharged. That's good. What about their genes? 17 days. Mule is good to go. And then I think egg extractions. Sky and Vassallo. Vassallo can be egg extracted in about 11 hours. But Sky can be egg extracted already. Another thing I might want to do is to have herbal meds stored nearby so that I can egg extract them a little bit more easily. Oh wait, Psychic Suit, that's nice. And Wendy has tattered apparel from, I'm guessing, stupid prisoners punching me. And I believe that guess is right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to make human skin t-shirt. Seems fine by me. Designate a stockpile in the lab for eggs. I might eventually get around to it. I think it makes more sense for me to have a shelf and everything else. I know my priority is to work on the lab, and I will continue to work on the lab, but I'm also just trying to tend to Wendy's needs, and her needs at the moment are food needs. Okay, so Slowlane should be pretty soon finished hauling the steel that potted in. And then that means the tasks that are left are going to be ones that have Slowlane hauling corn or rice, rather, over to where it needs to be. Would it be potentially useful to pollute areas outside the walls so that raiders get sick? So environmental pollutions work very slowly. Toxic pollution, like tox clouds and tox weapons, work a lot faster. Better if you have a maze, kind of like a fire trap. So yes, there would be an advantage to pollute the outside if, for someone like Mac, because she has pollution stimulus, so she actually gets stronger in pollution. But much like how if you have toxic fallout on your map tile and raiders come, their buildup is not going to be significant enough to really affect them. It might be a 5% consciousness difference, which is so negligible. So purposely polluting the outside is really only going to cause acidic smogs to roll in on my own map tile, and then potentially waste pack infestations. Basically, bugs unburrow because you have polluted tiles. So the advantage is not quite there, in other words. It's not a horrible idea, but there isn't a huge advantage. Is there a major reason why Animal Warcry wasn't added to Wendigos? It kind of seems thematic. Yeah, well, like, Wendigos in Native American lore versus Wendigos in my lore. My lore, they don't rely upon animals, as that would be like a weakness or a crutch. Alright, Mix, you're going to have to be behind the walls, and be behind the walls, and let's get this door closed. Unfortunately, Wendy is not asleep. Oh, you know what? I'll just zone you. I don't really want to have to deal with squirrels. They don't yield meat that I care about, so... Kellyanne, you close the door. So even though it's outside of my zone, I can just have Kellyanne zoned in such a way that it's no problem. Just making sure all doors are closed. Yeah, they are. These doors are actually boarded up. Couldn't waste pack infestations be cheese for defense? Yes. Yeah, waste pack infestations are kind of like mechanoids with a proximity sensor, where there will be cocoons that lay dormant, and then if anyone goes close to them, the bugs inside the cocoons pop out like a chest burster. And you could delicately, without getting too close, build walls to sort of funnel enemies into waste pack cocoons. But it's a lot of work for not a lot of effective raid squishing. Because it's a large enough raid is going to easily be able to wipe out a few mega spiders. And the amount of building required to set that situation up is not insignificant. So, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it's not maybe all that cost effective. Okay, Wendy, the next thing I want you to do, you are going to continue setting up the biolab. So the next project is to plan out one more prison and then to start to move the gene banks over. And I guess technically the priority is research advanced fabrication. There. Done. Have I researched transport pods yet? No. I don't even have biofuel researched. Mule, you can go through. The embryo is going to be born in about 4.5 days. It's like all the animals have gone mad. There we go. Another egg. I don't think what I'm going to do, just because it's kind of annoying to have to re-enslave and re-imprison my prisoners, because I don't have a huge capacity to run another vat right now anyway, I'm going to wait until I have more farms to be able to do more vat growing, because it just doesn't at the moment make sense. It's too much work. Actually, Wendy, what was that again? Well, no. You guys didn't vote for me to do a throne room yet, so I'm going to leave that sort of idle for a bit. So I'll talk very briefly about gene assembly and gene banks, and eventually we'll get gene processors if we're trying to do large xenogerm implantations. The TLDR is that your gene assembler needs to be within 12 tiles of banks and processors. By default, you can only assemble xenogerms, which are genes to be implanted into someone. You can only assemble xenogerms up to complexity 6 without additional gene processors. And you can't go below -5 for complexity, which means you can't just insert like a whole bunch of positive genes without balancing it out somehow. So when designing a biolab, you're going to want to design something that allows for a somewhat generous amount of room for assemblers and processors. The thing is, this section of the base is heated, so if I want a gene assembly and gene bank area, it probably doesn't need to be heated. So I don't think I'm going to be putting it in here. This is better suited for prisoners, in my opinion. I actually really only need one pillar and it would be placed here, but I like having duplicate pillars in case one gets destroyed. It doesn't crush my geothermal generator. But I am not going to... So banks can be uninstalled and moved. Most of the other genetics can't, which is important to note. So once placed, you can't just uninstall it and move it around. Even though it looks like it should be able to. Like, gene extractors don't look that large compared to multi-analyzer, right? They're the same size, but they don't get moved. Oops. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I take that back. I stripped you. Haha. That's a better... That's proper Wendy energy right there. How many hydroponics can one farm bot service? As many as you want. I mean, there is some sort of functional limitation of like how much they can get to within a certain period of time. But yeah, I could double my farm and Parduk would probably be able to tend to all of it. Royal Tribute Collector. So this is a good question. Right now, my honor is just into Acolyte, I think. And the question is whether I should give up a prisoner or not for additional honor. I'm thinking not, because it harms the genetics. Unfortunately, right now, the polling software that I typically use is down, so I'm going to use the Twitch polls. Should I donate prisoners for honor? Yes or no? I'm gonna have it. Oh, the polling's back up. Of course it is. All right, there it is. I'm going to be using the overlay poll. No, it just broke again. Are you kidding me? No, there it goes. Okay. Third time's a charm. All right, this shelf I'm bringing down to important. That way, the prisoners have stacks of rice at a higher priority, so they can feed themselves because I'm lazy. Oh, hey, look at this. Because of the animal hunters, I have an opportunity to rescue. If you're wondering why Wendy is being nice, she wants to cozy up to... Oh, you're a genie, though. She wants to cozy up to the Empire for selfish reasons, right? She's working in the Wendigo project to show them that their hussars are inferior. And I'm going to rescue these guys, but I'm going to do it with my vampiric abilities, just instant coagulation, so I don't spend so much time. And I will stick them here for now. He was unwaveringly loyal. Well, he belongs to... so I'm going to get rid of this. Obviously, that poll does not matter anymore. The Royal Tribute Collector got jumped by squirrels and left the map tile. I wasn't planning on capturing them anyway. Rescue them for the wealth. For the reputation. Again, it's not an act of kindness, it's an act of manipulation. Wendy is going to manipulate the Empire. We extracted Slow Walker. Oh, joy. What a good gene. Thank you, Slow Wayne, for banking it, though. Alright, I will have to drain some of the prisoners for Hemogen, because my Hemogen's a little low. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Exactly. You get it. Alright, who's got blood for mama? You do. Oh, no. Your blood is mine. Your blood is mine. Your blood is mine. And your blood is mine. See? Comrades, this is, well, I won't go there. These guests are going to require some simple meals, I think. Because my guess is they're not cannibals. Nope. Nope. Nope, not cannibals. So, I'll be, making some simple meals for them. Parduk, you're probably recharging, but you've got farming to do, friend. So perishable, non-cannibal is the meals that I'm going to be sending them. It looks like Diogenes, or however you pronounce it, I don't know, I don't know Greek, should be on your feet and leaving. Like, why are you even here? Leave already. Actually, isn't it that the pure white light is torture? Right? Something like that? I'd have to make the whole room white, though. Maybe that's a goal at some point. It's like white light torture for the prisoners.
you know, why not run other psychological experiments on them while I strip them of their eggs and force them to breed for my monster program. I wonder how dark it could get. Saturation. Yeah, I guess lights can't be black, which makes sense. There are dark lights, but they're not dark like that. Collect the drop loot from the Royal Collector. Yeah, I will eventually. It's not great stuff. It's like mostly junk. But the meals would be nice to have. Then I wouldn't have to cook for my guests. That and the corpses are tasty. No, you like all the death, huh? Standing there like a picnic. I guess at this point, Mex, Solwayne, and Kish are going to be unrestricted because there's no need to have you locked up. There's no threat outside anymore. The waste is filling the freezer fast. Yeah, I think as soon as I get the Acolyte privileges, it's not going to be a problem. So, if you think it's a problem, you can vote for it, but I think it's fine. Why aren't you leaving? The hell is your problem? Get out. Why are you unconscious? Oh! Is it because this right eye injury is so painful to you that you can't get up? Oh, God. The one problem with wimpy genies is they get knocked out so easily. It was a medical emergency. You do? Well, feed yourself. Like, what is your problem? I think what I could do is maybe go juice him to get him to leave. Nope, sorry about the cannibal food. Nah, I really can't even go juice him. I guess I cut out the eye, but I can't because you're gassed. Well, guess your gear is mine. I don't care if you die now. I tried to help you, but enjoy the snow. I knew I have a rep hit from that, but I don't care. I want honor as a goal, not necessarily reputation. And I'd rather have his recon armor, to be honest. Why not Gene Rip him? Because that would piss off the faction even more. So I'm just gonna let him freeze to death. I knew that stripping him wouldn't make me hostile with the Empire, but doing anything more than that would have been a bigger problem. Yeah, you can't get honor if you're hostile with the Empire, because there's no way for the bestower to show up, because, you know, they shoot you in the face, or try to at least. Alright, exotic goods trader in a Colossal Assembly. The Colossal Assembly looks like a lot of work, and I am not going to accept that. But the exotic goods trader could be really cool, because I have a lot of genes that I wouldn't mind selling. I have an extra copy of Robust. I don't think I'm going to take Wake Up Immune. I'm not going to keep that, so let's go ahead and sell. Packaged survival meals. Oh, but those are cannibal meals, though. I'm going to keep those. They do have death rest serum. I'll buy it. I might need some more. No, there's a source of gold locally here. I think this is... Yeah, that works. So the death rest serum allows me to have more death rest facilities so that when I do death rest, I can do it more efficiently. I'll get into that once I start making death rest stuff. Oh yeah, there was a cat tech print. Oops, that's not what I want. Yeah, I'll buy that. I guess I missed that, huh? Cat armor. What about jump packs? It's too expensive. I can't afford either. I'll have to just figure out how to make more money. What I will want to buy, now that I'm looking at this again, is the Insanity Lance. That is a really good way to mess with the mechs. Well, combat supplier. Well, maybe I will make money after all. At the moment, I have enough cores that I have cores just sort of sitting there waiting. I don't need to buy any more cores. That's not a lot of silver. Organs trade pretty well. Yep, that they do. I could start to organ harvest our prisoners non-fatally. Nope, bye-bye. You royal pain in my butt. Such a pain in my butt. What is my relationship with them now? -38, but both members I think are... Oh, did I get credit? Oh, there they are. Now I'm starting to get credit for their rescue. So, it's going to be another week before genes have regrown enough. That's weird. Shouldn't you be off? No. Somehow or not, I don't know, whatever. Embryo, 2 days left. Not bad. Need a meditation spot, do I? I don't actually have my psi focus to be bothered with at any level at the moment. Puppy treats, sure thing. Question for you all. Should I take a few organs from the prisoners? Thank you for tuning in to the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits and also support the channel. I'll catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Stay safe out there, my fellow Wendigos.